So it was announced a day or two ago that CBS and Viacom are reunifying. We'll talk about that in this video. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and at the risk of going too deeply into corporate movements this is something that has a great deal of effect on the Star Trek universe. CBS and Viacom announced a day or two ago that they are going to merge. Now, back in 2006, CBS and Viacom were basically the same company. It was Viacom that owned CBS and also Paramount, and between CBS and Paramount they owned all the rights to the Star Trek franchise. And when they split in a division between Viacom, which had Paramount and some of the cable networks, and CBS and some of the other cable networks, they thought that it would provide more income for the stockholders by having them two separate companies instead of one. Well, it didn't work out so well that way, unfortunately, and one of the side effects was that Star Trek rights were divided between Paramount and CBS. CBS had all of the rights to the back catalog movies and TV programs, and Paramount had the right to make new movies. So with the complicated nature of having to have two companies holding on to elements of the same rights, it became very difficult to understand, and there's been a lot of talk on various YouTube channels about certain deals that have been made in order to make sure that the rights from one faction were respected from the other. And some of them were correct, some were kind of out in the fringes somewhere, I must admit. But in the recent announcement that these companies are going to reassemble, all of the rights of Star Trek are going to be held under one organization. The new company is going to be called ViacomCBS, even though it's CBS that bought Viacom this time. The last time Viacom was over CBS, now CBS is over Viacom, and just because it sounded good, they're calling it ViacomCBS. The CEO of this is Bob Bakish. He is a person who replaced Les Moonves as the CEO of CBS, and they have picked a new CEO of the CBS division under ViacomCBS of Joe Inello. Between the two of them, and interestingly, unlike Les Moonves, they're both Star Trek fans, and their plans are to put Star Trek as kind of the crown jewel of ViacomCBS. The combined company will have a number of cable networks, including MTV, Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, Showtime, the Movie Channel, BET, the CW, which is a broadcast network, CBSN, which is the CBS News Channel, which has not been carried by many cable systems, it's mostly streamed, CBS Sports, and an online ET. That is to say, Entertainment Tonight. And they also own the Simon & Schuster book publishing, and for the first time altogether, they will have the properties of Star Trek, of Mission Impossible, of Transformers, and of some other properties that are moneymakers for one or the other segments of the new company that's going together. In announcing this, the new chairman of the board will be Shari Redstone. Now, originally the Viacom organization, back before 2006, was owned 80% by Sumner Redstone, a gazillionaire who owned a company called National Amusements. He has been succeeded by his daughter Shari Redstone, who is still the owner of National Amusements, and National Amusements owns 80% of this new combined company. She is therefore going to be the chairman of the board, although Chief Operating Officer is, as we said, Bob Bakish. Anyway, what this means is that they are going to put Star Trek, Mission Impossible, as the two lead elements of this company. Although they have hundreds of series that are available, they're going to make a bigger deal of CBS All Access, with access to the Paramount catalog and with the various cable networks. They have the Viacom division had recently bought Pluto TV, which is a free streaming service which consists of a number of channels, which includes an all Doctor Who channel, also some interesting things, news channels, Weather Nation, and various things. It's similar to a cable system, except that the channels, generally speaking, are low budget, but they're all free and can provide you some if you've cut the cable and want to just stream off the internet. You can get a variety of channels from this that will include news and weather, and some old programs, and some other amusements, cartoons, things like that. We expect probably Pluto will be enhanced by some of the things that CBS can bring to it, and without getting too far off our point of the unification of the Star Trek rights, this also means that we will see the Star Trek movies now coming under the authority of CBS, and the idea that the Kelvin universe was kind of a bust. In fact, Quentin Tarantino, in an interview talking with J.J. Abrams, has said that he never really got what the Kelvin universe was. And Abrams went as far as saying, well, Kelvin has kind of run its course. And so it looks like all of these things are going to go back into the timeline of the original universe, the universe now that has Picard and Discovery and whatever else they come up with, the Lower Decks and other programs they have in development, like the Section 31 program that will have Michelle Yeoh. So all of these things are coming together, and it is going to open up quite a few things to happen, no doubt, in television programs and in movies. And this time, instead of a very reluctant Les Moonves to head over it all, we have a very enthusiastic Bob Backish and Joe Iannello, who are big Star Trek fans, big Mission Impossible fans. I think that a lot of good things can come out of this merger. It's still waiting for government approval, but they announced they're going to do it today, and the likelihood is that it will go through before the end of the year. And that will make a change in the rights that have been separated since Star Trek Enterprise went off the air. So we could see a whole new era of new Star Trek, and a fairly good guarantee that it will continue well into the future. I'd like to know what you think about this. We've read a lot about it, and it's confusing, but we will talk more about it as we have more details about it. In the meantime, we have also heard some things about the new acquisitions that Disney has made. We'll point out that this new CBS Viacom corporation is not going to be anywhere near as big as Disney, having swallowed up 21st Century Fox, but that it will have probably more programming elements than any other combined, more than Disney, more than NBC Universal, and more than the other networks that have put together a studio behind themselves. So this is a big deal for CBS, and it looks like they're going to be on a buying spree after this as well. So I'd like to know what you think. Please let me know in the comments. Also, if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe and click the bell in order to know when the next video comes your way. And until then, don't go far.